Alright, in this video we're going to work on dividing fractions. And while dividing fractions sounds pretty difficult, it's actually going to be pretty easy because I don't like to divide, so we're not going to do it. In this video we're going to divide fractions. And dividing fractions sounds pretty difficult, but we're going to make it a little bit easier on ourselves by not actually doing any division. So if I don't want to divide, I'm going to multiply instead. So let's take a look at a problem. Let's say I have 1/2 divided by 3/4. Instead of dividing, which makes this problem pretty difficult, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to change that division sign to a multiplying sign. And my second fraction is going to get flip-flopped upside down. So instead of 3/4, I'm going to make it 4/3. And we call this flip-flop fraction a reciprocal. Anytime you take 3/4 and make it 4/3, 4/3 is a reciprocal. Anytime you flip a fraction upside down, we call it its reciprocal. The first fraction, 1/2, doesn't change, so it just stays 1/2, and we end up with a multiplication problem of 1/2 times 4/3. If I multiply this out, 1 times 4, straight across again, equals 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. Well, 4/6 would be an answer, even though it's not in lowest terms. Lowest terms would be 2/3. I can still make this a lot easier on myself. Multiplying is a lot easier than trying to figure out division. So let's take a look at another example. Let's say that we have an improper fraction, 7/5, and we divide that by 2/3. Well, what we did before is we said, let's turn this division into multiplication and flip our second fraction into its reciprocal, or upside down. So we turn that into 3/2. The 7/5 stays the same, and then we just multiply straight across. So 7 times 3 is 21, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now this is an improper fraction answer. This is also equal to 2 and 1/10, because 10 goes into 21 2 full times with 1 left over, but we've solved our answer. We have 21/10 or 2 and 1/10 for that division problem. So let's take a look at an example that has a mixed number. Let's do 3 and 1/2 divided by 2 and 4/5. Well, we're still going to follow the same process. Division becomes multiplication, and we're going to flip our second fraction, but we don't have a fraction yet. We have a mixed number. So we first need to turn 2 and 4/5 into an improper fraction. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So this is 14/5. So I'm going to flip this upside down to be 5/14. My first fraction stays the same, but I can't use a mixed number, so I need to make that improper. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so that's 7/2. Now I'm just going to multiply straight across. 7 times 5 is 35, and 2 times 14 is 28. Now 35/28ths can actually be reduced, and you can see this sometimes here because 7 and 14 both have a factor of 7. There's ways of reducing within multiplying fractions, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but we can reduce both of these, 35 and 28, by 7. So let's do that. If we divide by 7 on the top and the bottom, 35 divided by 7 equals 5, and 28 divided by 7 equals 4. So we get the answer of 5/4, which is the same as 1 and 1/4. And we have our answer. 5/4, or 1 and 1/4. So just remember, if you have mixed numbers, make them improper fractions first, then go through the process of changing it to a multiplication problem and flipping the second fraction.